Blizzard has just posted a new update to the Cataclysm Beta server, and today I will be testing a lot more things to see what we will discover. Apparently, it seems like achievements are now shared between all your different characters, so you don't need to log on to your main character to share a raid-specific achievement. No, you can just play on your old character and link this in case it's required to join a specific group. Farming profession materials is going to be so much easier in Cataclysm and in the pre-patch, as you can now track minerals and herbs at the exact same time. These will be shown on your map, and they will also be glowing. But overall, you're going to save a lot of time and key presses, as you can easily farm these compared to Wrath of the Lich King, where you will have to swap in between what you're tracking. I also discovered something else. As I was farming the different herbs and minerals, I got no experience when I gathered these profession materials. And yeah, I was a low level character and also with a low level profession, and I should be gaining a bit of experience. So maybe this is a bug or a change in order to prevent bots from leveling up this way. I also joined a max level guild, simply just to see if there was done any changes, for example new perks or perks that was removed. Mass Resurrection is still in the game, and there's no cooldown. However, if a player accepts the res, then there's also going to be a 10 minutes cooldown. It seems like we will also still be able to summon all our party and raid members to our location, a 6 seconds cast with a 2 hours cooldown. This spell is honestly so insane as a 5-man party, where you're for example farming things in the open world. You could easily be spreading around and summoning each other every time you find a rare or something else that is going to be important for your progression. On top of this, mobile banking is still in the game, where we can summon a guild chest that allows us access to our guild for 5 minutes. However, there seems to be no new update to the guild perks, so it's all going to be as it were in original Cataclysm. Back when they introduced Classic in 2019, I remember kiting around and using different objects as an advantage to also solo more difficult enemies, and in Cataclysm it seems like this is still a possibility. I was able to kite this wolf for a long time, and I could also drag it far away without it even resetting. So if you're going to struggle with a rare elite or something else, well then you can just kite around. Of course, as long as you have abilities to continue hitting it from far distance, so you don't take damage and it don't end up resetting. In the first part I mentioned how I felt like the graphics were way better compared to Wrath of the Lich King, and some of you pointed out that I might have enabled the new feature to improve my graphics. But no, this was not even enabled, and I still felt like the graphics were better. I did enable this and didn't see much of a change, so yeah, I guess the graphics are overall just way better compared to Wrath of the Lich King. Therefore, I also made a troll, as I knew the starting area was looking amazing in Cataclysm. And yeah, I have to be honest, it still seems like this. The water and the environment just seems so much better compared to, yeah, you guessed it, Wrath of the Lich King. How do you feel about this change? Is it something you're looking forward to, or does it remind you too much of retail? How does the drop rates feel? Well, for some specific quests the drop rates are still awful. We're talking about you killing maybe 2, 3 or 4 enemies without a single drop. So yeah, some quests will still be difficult to do, or well, time consuming. Talking about questing, then ever since the latest beta update we have been able to create Worgens and Goblins, so I decided to create one of these characters to test the starting area and how all the quests felt like, but also if there were way too many bugs, because as of right now there are so many bugs on the beta, and hopefully they will invite even more players into the game anytime soon, so we can report everything to make the game experience a lot more smooth at the release. Hopefully I will also get some beta keys anytime soon that I will be able to give away to my viewers. If so, then make sure to subscribe so you get notified when I do this. Usually when you're questing in Classic, it's going to be quests where you just need to either slay enemies or obtaining different things, or maybe even both at the same time. But as a Worgen and as a Goblin, there are so many new quests where it's not just gonna be this. You will probably have to control an NPC, like this dog, or maybe riding a horse, shooting with a cannon, and many other things. These kind of quests requires a lot better scripting to also work flawlessly, and I have to be honest, everything was working smoothly. Now that I'm already covering this topic, then in the pre-patch and in Cataclysm there's going to be a lot of new quests that won't just be what we were used to. So if you know every single quest in between level 1 to 60, then you should also be looking forward to Cataclysm, as there's going to be many new quests and also new mechanics introduced that won't remind you of your leveling in original Classic 2019 up to 2024. As you're leveling up your character, you will also notice that it's going to be a lot easier or well cheaper to reset your talent points. Instead of spending a gold or maybe even more, then you will have to spend 1 silver, 5 silver, 10 silver, and then slowly increasing. This is great news, especially if you have to test out many new talent trees in the pre-patch, simply to figure out what you like the most, but also what you will be leveling up with in Cataclysm. And talking about the talent trees, there's no changes to these. Everything is the exact same as it were back then, so no new spells or more talent points. No, everything stays the same, at least as of right now. An amazing guild perk when you die is that you can move around even faster. It will increase your movement speed by 100%, and some of you has been curious if this will stack with the Night Elf racial. It definitely does, and you can move around so quickly. Hopefully you won't end up dying a lot of times, but if so, you can get to your dungeon entrance a lot quicker. I also have some great news for you. As I was recording stuff for the video, I noticed a lot more people in the zones, and this is because a lot more people has also been invited to the beta. So make sure to check your email or just your launcher and see if you have been invited to the beta. Else make sure to opt in. This can be done on the webpage, and then you will hopefully be invited in the next wave. Some of you would also like to know if we can continue to use our Castsequence macros. This is definitely doable, so you can add in many different spells and remove many things from your action bar as well and press one button. This is of course not the best way to play the game, but if you're playing on a controller, this can save you a lot of key presses. What about Leeway? Will this stay in the game like it was in Classic? Well, it definitely did. If I'm moving to the left or to the right or just turning my back, they will hit me from a far distance. If I end up backpedaling, they will all of a sudden not be able to hit me as far away. But look what happens when I turn my back, or well, just moving to the left. They can hit me from a far distance. Will you still need to level up another character to 55 before you can create a Death Knight? Yeah, in Cataclysm it stays the same, just like it was in Wrath of the Lich King. But then again, at this point you probably have many characters at max level, else you will have enough time to level up another character to 55 in the pre-patch. The next thing is nothing important, but still it is a minor change. When you gain an achievement, the icon will now be a lot different, or well, a bit different, compared to how it is in Wrath of the Lich King. I know a lot of you are really interested in the new Transmog system, but even though there was an update, we still can't interact with NPCs, so you gotta wait for another part before I can show you this. Therefore, I would also highly recommend you to subscribe to the channel, so you get notified the next time I post a video, and soon I will also be releasing a lot more Wrath of the Lich King and also Cataclysm videos. For example, class guides, preparation videos, and of course, gold making. As always, thank you so much for watching, and have an amazing day. Peace!